Hello, my lovelies. I am trying a different recording angle today, so let me know if you like this angle or if you would rather the overhead. I'm trying to do it better to where I don't have to stand in such like an awkward position whenever I am recording, so I can like sit in my chair and be comfy. And because I have to sometimes rig some stuff to actually work for me. So, but welcome back to my channel. I am Kelly Lee, and on my channel, I talk about everything spirituality and witchcraft related that I do in my everyday life, as well as aromatherapy, herbalism, and of course, tarot. Today is about tarot. I am doing a VR tag. I am doing the 12 deck tag VR2 Feeding My Soul decks that shape my practice. So I will put in the description box below the prompts on each. Um, and so for each, there's 4 prompts, and for each prompt, you choose 4 decks. So we are going to jump right in. So first prompt is decks I felt compelled to use immediately. The first one is the Forager's Daughter Tarot. This deck is so beautiful. It is so like, it's very much like Appalachian, like symbolism, and they're like cicadas right there. I love the artwork itself. The backs are very, very cute. Cicadas, of course. But look how pretty. We have, like deer, and that's a hellbender, if I'm not mistaken. Little chipmunks, little eggs. Like, this deck is so cool, and she has actually, I think, like four extra cards that she made specifically for this deck. Let me see if I can find them. Oh yeah, so this is one. This is Bond. Also, I have Otis and Ellie in here, so they're being a little loud. Stillness. I just love this deck so much. It is edged in gold, so it is very pretty. Now I will say this does tend to change the focus a lot, but first deck, the Forager's Daughter Tarot. I'm gonna have so many decks all over the place, but that is okay. Next deck is the Naked Heart Tarot. I bought this deck when it was still not a Kickstarter, but it was like an indie deck. I have followed this deck since she was posting Julian C. Wild, since she was posting on her Instagram when she would get done creating a new card and, just give like sneak peeks. And I love this from the moment I saw these cards. Especially at that time, I was very much into the minimalistic, no boundaries, no fuss, like not Pip style, like just enough imagery to like really pull me in, right? And look at that death card. And like this one does that. It's not edged in anything. The Sage. But this is the Naked Heart Tarot. I'm going to try to not spend so much time on each deck, just because if so, we're going to be here for a long time. Next, we have the Nova Witch Tarot. I just happened to be scrolling through, I think it was Etsy, and just happened to see this deck. And oh my gosh, it is so, the colors draw me in. I don't even really notice or am bothered by the borders because I love the images so much. There's so many cute little like stars and clouds and little like sketches of like plants. And sometimes, yeah, the like sword almost like looks like it's going through their head, like, or like this 10 of wands, but her hair is like almost getting caught on the wands. And then some of them are just all Wheel of Fortune. And the wands are all these like, has a little like crystal at the top. Like the Fool. Look at that. It's so pretty. It's almost like a collage style, but not with like real people photos, if that makes sense. Look, his purple tear. This 8 of coins, I love this so much. The light at the end. The Hanged One, even though she's just like on a branch. So is she like that, or is she actually like hanging? You know what I mean? Oh, that's so good. Queen of Wands. And I love how the hair is like a big like visual in these cards too, because hair holds so much, like, look at that, so much meaning for so many different cultures and for so many different people. And it holds memory, it holds energy, it holds feeling. That's why in certain cultures, you know, if you're mourning a loss, you cut your hair. Some people cut their hair after breakup so that the hair, you know, that grows out will have never been around that person, you know. It's just, so I do love how hair, look at that, hair is incorporated. Oh, and we will end it on the moon. That is the Nova Witch Tarot. I guess I probably should have got all these decks out before I started filming, but you know, 2020 vision. Next in this prompt, and the last one, is the Herb Crafter's Tarot. And this deck will also be in another of the prompts. Who's surprised? I talk about this deck all the time. Very earthy, very artistic. For each card, there is a plant. Like this one, 4 of Earth is willow. And each of these suits is earth, air, fire, and water. Look at that death with the marigold. I love this deck. Look at that. So pretty. It just draws you in. The Chariot is cedar. The Hanged One, burdock. And there's like runes in this, and a little candle, the root itself. They made like a tea. Like this one, 8 of Fires, ginger, so spicy. 3 of Earth, raspberry. It's just so, for those of you who love herbs, who love to study that stuff, this would be a good deck for you. The Empress is Rose. So that was the Herb Crafters Tarot. I will actually just leave that right there because it will come up again. Okay, the second prompt is decks I've never connected with. This one was pretty easy. I have a few more than 4, but these are the main ones. First is Intuitive Goddess Tarot. I have just, this deck, like, I will get it out sometimes, just, sorry about that, just like randomly to just like flip through and look at it. But I just, and it's not that I don't like the artwork, because I do. Like that 6 of Swords, like it's so pretty. Or that Ace of Wands is just light. Like, it's so pretty. But for whatever reason, I have never been able to connect to it. The cards are very thick too. So it is a little difficult to shuffle. So it's not that I don't like the artwork. It's not like I just, all the wands are little pinpoints of fire. I don't know. I don't know what it is that makes me not connect to this deck. That was the Intuitive Night Goddess. Next is the Mythos Tarot. I haven't connected to this deck because I am not that into Greek mythology, but it is gilded in gold. The cards themselves, like, I don't even think I've ever shuffled this. Yeah, it's still in order. Like, and a part of me is almost like, was this created with AI? But I don't think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they're very much just like on the nose type of, strength is Atlas. The Hermit, Hermes. Wheel of Fortune, Demeter, so I mean, Prometheus is the Hanged Man. I think that's what also, like, oh, look, he's a little puppy. I don't really care for such like on the nose type of stuff. Like, make me think a little bit, But 3 of Wands. So, but there are some like lower level gods and goddesses in this deck that I haven't really, heard of, or, or aren't that familiar with. So I could potentially, Psyche, I know her, Cronus. So I could go and like go in and see, the fate, the 3 fates. Like, so I could go in and look and see, but this is just not for me. And the backs are kind of cute. But yeah, I had never even shuffled that deck. I didn't even realize. It's just been sitting on my shelf. I think I because I got it in a subscription box, I'm pretty sure, Witch's Moon. So I'm pretty sure I just opened it then and like briefly showed a few cards and then just put it up. Okay, next on the decks that I have never connected with, this is the True Heart Tarot by Rachel True. I really wanted to love this deck, but I just don't. The guidebook is pretty good, but these cards are just, the cardstock itself, like they're so thin. I just don't. I don't know what it is. I don't like the cards. They're very wide. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but I've just never connected with this deck, and I really wanted to. So for those of you who don't know, Rachel True was in the movie The Craft, and she was one of the witches. And she is actually now like a little bit of a woo-woo witchy lady. I will say the guidebook itself is really good. So, for example, so you get a card. It is a black and white picture. You get a high vibe and a low vibe. Then you get three pages of meaning of the card. But then also she talks about the craft in some of them. Like this one, when we were shooting The Craft, a young production assistant named Eddie would pick up Nev Campbell and me in his shit-kicked muscle car and take us back and forth to set. We had a blast talking with and teasing him. We're surprised when he told us that actors on another production had never engaged him in conversation and were kind of rude to PAs in general. So she talks about, the craft and gives situational examples for each card. And God, I wanted to like this deck, but again. And last but not least, I know I may get some flack for this one, Antique Anatomy Tarot. A lot of people love this deck, and I understand what. Number one, this box is so cool. And I understand why they love this deck. It's just not for me. And I will sometimes pull it out and stare at it and look at it and just kind of, I think part of it is because it is slightly pippy. So sometimes I just pull it out just to look at the images and the pictures, because I do think, it's a bit like this one, that curved spine. I do like the artwork itself, but I've just never really connected with it. And I tried for a little bit. I tried to do daily pulls with it and to just see, and it was just not working. I do like how they have them titled Soup, Elixirs, the figure is the queen. This one is Elixirs, figure 9. So that is the Antique Anatomy. I do like the backs too. It's very cool. I do like that brown color, and then the edges are almost a little worn down. The guidebook is very very short and to the point. I do like the pictures though. You get 3 paragraphs for each card. Okay. So that is the last of the decks I've never connected with prompt. Number 3 is decks I'd want to study. So this is where the Herb Crafter's Tarot is in this one too, because I am a lifelong student of herbalism. I love herbs. I love working with herbs. I love teaching about herbs. I love going foraging. And what I particularly want to study about this deck is just kind of deep dive into the imagery and connect it to the plant itself. This does have a lot of like Hispanic culture in it that I do really, really love. And I just want to like this. It's rosemary. They have like a wing tattoo on the arm. There's, the tools. Just make like a little meaning for myself, Like this one's the mallow. There's like hummingbirds coming. It's like a little bird feeder. Yeah, so I want to study the Herb Crafter's Tarot more in depth. Let's see. Next, this is the only Oracle deck that I have in this like VR. This is the Lilith's Oracle I got on Etsy. The reason I want to study it is because each of these cards has a painting that exists. So I want to learn more about each of these paintings and kind of get some in-depth knowledge about how they connect to Lilith. I do love this Oracle deck though. I got it partly because I don't really own like a red deck, and so I really wanted one. So cool. So I do want to study each painting that is in this deck. And there's not that many cards in it, but sometimes that just makes the meanings even more like impactful. Next, y'all saw this deck in one of my last videos I posted, but it is the Bonefire Tarot. And I want to study this deck more in depth just to get a better understanding and just to like sit down with one card and just stare at it and see all of the different things that are in each card, like the red liquid in the cups, and what that would mean to me. How there's things that are inside the holes in the tree. Does each thing correspond to one of the coins? Like how, you know what I mean? I just really want to deep dive into the imagery of the Bonefire Tarot. But I did a full walkthrough of this Bonefire Tarot and comparing it with the first edition, which I have. If you would like to see that, I will link it below. Okay, next deck I would like to study is, can't really see it, it is the Verdance Tarot. I got this again in the Verdant, sorry, what is it, Verdant? Oh no. Oh, this is the Verdant Companion Verdance Tarot. Just because each card has so much symbolism in it. Like, the camera doesn't do these cards justice, Like there's so much going on in each card that you could stare at it for an hour and see like something new. And they all have these little like flecks of like gold, which I love. It isn't etched in anything, but so like this one, the bear with like a butterfly on his chest, there's an acorn, there's like a butterfly or a moth up there. The rock he's standing on almost looks like a snake. Then there's like mountains in the background, clouds. I mean, there's like a river. There's just so much going on. And the colors are so pretty. Like this, the three different types of the bees. I'm pretty sure that's a queen bee. That's like a worker drone bee. And that's the bee that like takes care of the queen, if I'm not mistaken. So just so much stuff to look at. And the guidebook on this one is excellent. She included such good information in this guidebook that I really just want to sit down with it. And it's by Stephanie Pumanlaw with a foreword by Benabel Wynn. But so especially the majors, she goes into like, well, first off, she has the different symbols for each card. She goes into reading and interpreting the cards. Then each card has its own like title. Like the Fool is Wonderlust. And then for each of the majors, she goes into the main symbol of what's in that card. Like in the Fool, it's the coyote. In the Magician, it's the falcon. Things like that. Of course, the minors don't get that in depth, but it's still so good. So good. So I do want to study that one. Okay. Last but not least, decks I want to use before the year ends. This first one is the Crow Tarot Pocket Edition. I have been wanting this deck for a very long time, but the full size never really called out to me, and I couldn't understand why until I saw a video, and I can't remember who it was, and I sincerely apologize, but she was talking about this deck, and she had the same problem where she couldn't connect to the full size one. But the pocket edition came out and she does. And part of the reason for her was that the images seem better in the smaller edition. Like the big cards just kind of make the image not as intense. It doesn't hit as hard. And plus, I love a good pocket edition to just throw in my bag. So that's the Crow Tarot Pocket Edition. And I have used it to, like my weekly pulls. So it's not that I haven't used it yet, but I do want to use it more. Next is the Tarot del Fuego. This is one that I've kind of had trouble connecting with, but it is almost, not exactly, but similar to the Bonefire, where there's just a lot of things going on. But it's so quirky and it's so weird. And and there's eyeballs everywhere. And like a two-headed people, like a horse with a key and a treasure in its belly. Like, look at that devil. Look how many eyes he has. And then the things, death is a two-headed thing. One head is like human, the other's a horse, a four-eyed decapitated head, a death moth. Like, it's so cool. So weird. Strength. She's fighting off this, looks like thousand-eyed monster. So I would like to get into this more. I do like this Eight of Cups as well, because it does have the tower, or not tower, this pillar, and the seeds, or what you have planted in this cup, in these cups, what you have planted in these cups is now growing and like destroying what's around you. Sometimes it's okay to walk away. She has fish for arms, the star does. Just very cool. Very weird, very cool, by Ricardo Cavallo. This, even though I hate these little like cardboard deck or cardboard boxes for decks, because they always I can never really get them in there like fast. Next is Old Style Tarot. I did an unboxing of this deck not too long ago as well. This deck is very cool. Ooh, the moon. You see Ellie's face. There is a blank card in this deck that they put in there that you can interpret as you will. So very cool. I just love the artwork. Like, this Seven of Cups may be my all-time favorite of the Seven of Cups, because it's so cool that they're like prying her third eye open to like pour in either knowledge or, and that gives off the idea of sometimes it's not your choice. Sometimes you receive it and you get it, whether you want it or not. The devil. Very cool. So these decks have been on my desk for a little bit, and I've been trying to use them every so often for client readings or for my personal weekly pulls. And then last but not least, of the last prompt in this tag is Soul Reflections Tarot. This tarot I did get in a subscription box. It was the Witch's Moon. I did show this deck a little bit on when I was unboxing it in there. I love the artwork of this deck so much, but I hate that it has the meanings. So I've been contemplating whether or not to trim the deck, whether or not to just live with it, or whether or not to just like try and like black them out with something. But I don't know what I would use to black them out. But I love this deck. I love the artwork. Like, look at this Nine of Cups with the chain and the gloves, and the cups are kind of, like all over the place. if you're not new here, you know I have a love-hate relationship with the Nine of Cups. It's been my stalker card for years, and one of the reasons was because most interpretations of it was, you know, like what it says, happiness, pleasure, gratitude, abundance. And I've never really gotten that from that card. The guy always has a creepy ass face in it, and I've just never gotten that from it. I know the reverse is unfamiliar, overindulgence, emptiness. Um, I've just never gotten the good from it. That's starting to change, but this Empress one is so pretty. And I love how there's random hints of color in these cards, like the devil, the fire, or the people in their head is like a light blue color. Or in this one, his knuckles are all bruised and beaten up. Love it. So that is Soul Reflections Tarot. If you have any recommendations for maybe covering up those words on the cards themselves, please let me know. I am open to suggestions because I do think I want to cover them up. I'm not brave enough to actually trim my decks. But that was the last one. So this was the 12 deck tag VR to Feeding My Soul decks that shape my practice. If you made it till the end of the video, thank you so much. I wish you nothing but blessings and growth, and I will see you next time. Bye.